Hello everyone and welcome to this Technical Tuesday webinar. My name is Christina Williams. I'm a technical trainer with EPM Live. Here are some logistics as we get started today. All attendees are in listen-only mode and will remain so as muted during the entirety of the webinar. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat module. However, please note we will be collecting all questions and then following up with answers following the completion of the webinar. Also, I am recording this webinar, and a link will be sent out to all those who registered. Here are today's objectives. I will explain what is LiveConnect and how it works. I will also give you some information so you can use the LiveConnect feature for your organization's business systems. I will demonstrate how to configure the integration options, and then I'll also demonstrate how an end user would see the integration in action. So today we are reviewing the LiveConnect integration feature. This is a new feature available from EPM Live. LiveConnect is a feature built into EPM Live that allows for quicker, easier development of integrations with other business systems. This new integration platform greatly reduces the amount of time it takes to integrate any API-based system with EPM Live. So whether it's an integration with Salesforce, SAP, SQL Server, your financial systems, Oracle, etc., EPM Live provides a seamless connection for users, improving collaboration and productivity through this LiveConnect feature. So first off, we see here the big picture. Basically, we're integrating other systems with EPM Live. But now, since this is Technical Tuesday, let's get a little more technical. So here are some details about how LiveConnect works. LiveConnect is a SOAP-based web service that resides within EPM Live. LiveConnect has all the information about EPM Live, so by building an adapter for your system, the LiveConnect allows you by building an adapter for your system, then you can automatically have connection and integration into EPM Live. So what is the LiveConnect itself? The LiveConnect is a DLL that you would use with Visual Studio, and that DLL allows you to do all of the following. You can get in external data from other systems, you can push data from EPM Live to external systems, and then you can also add, modify, or delete items within EPM Live. So this is a tool that developers would use. And the developers create an adapter that translates data from the external source for those other systems to a .NET data table for EPM Live. Now the developers themselves don't need to have EPM Live or know the inner workings of EPM Live as a developer, because the DLL takes care of that. So all you need is the DLL from us. And then you can use Visual Studio with the DLL to create those integrations between your other systems and EPM Live. And for your reference, the DLL itself is called EPM Live Integration.dll, and you would open it in your Visual Studio project. So here's a diagram that visually shows how the LiveConnect works. In other words, how data flows from other systems into EPM Live and back. So the LiveConnect feature itself resides within EPM Live. We introduced this feature as of version 4.4. So if you have version 4.4 or later, you already have this LiveConnect integration feature available. It's one of our out-of-box functionalities. And then as part of our out-of-box solution, we've already pre-built one of the integrations using EPM Live with Salesforce. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a few moments. Notice that for each system, such as Salesforce, SAP, etc., there's a corresponding adapter for each of those systems. The adapter gathers the data from its respective system, converts it to the data table format, and then pushes that data back into EPM Live. So now, rather than following the data flow from all these systems at once, let's focus on one system. For example, Salesforce. Now I've highlighted just the Salesforce system and the corresponding Salesforce adapter. Now the steps and concepts I show specifically with Salesforce are applicable to whichever other systems or solutions that you also want to integrate with EPM Live. So here's an example of how the adapter is created and how the settings are configured and what really is taking place. So we have here, for example, this EPM Live system, and there's Salesforce, and then we have the Salesforce adapter, which would get created to integrate the Salesforce and EPM Live. Now the first step of the process is that a record gets added into the system, or modified or deleted from the system. So for example, let's say you create a new customer account in Salesforce. The Salesforce system, through the integration, communicates to EPM Live that it has a record. And you can see here it's either an add record, an update record, or a delete record. This is step 2 here. Besides telling it whether it's adding, updating, or deleting, the Salesforce system also tells EPM Live that it has the record and the ID number. Now what happens is EPM Live says back to the system via the adapter here, okay, give me all the data for that record with that specific ID. Then through the adapter here, the Salesforce system or whatever other external system you have sends the data in whatever format comes out of that system to the adapter, and that's when the data gets converted to the necessary data table format. And the data goes back into EPM Live. And for example, in our scenario, we're creating a new or adding a record, and then EPM Live adds that record. Now for the end users using the system, this is all very seamless, but this is just giving you an idea behind the scenes of what technically is taking place and how data is flowing as well as getting translated into different format through that process. Now once we have the integration built from a system perspective and the adapter is built for your respective system, then the next part of the process is to configure the actual integration with EPM Live. For example, which type of data do you want to integrate? You can specify which list apps specifically integrate and when and how. So since the integration is configured for each individual list app within EPM Live, your settings can be different per integration. You can set your data to sync live or immediately on save. Also, you could set it to be synced on a timed basis, so whether it's hourly, daily, etc. So let's say, for example, you want to integrate EPM Live with your Salesforce solution. Maybe you want project details to update immediately whenever you save the project item, but maybe you're also integrating your issues between the two systems, but you want those to be updated and the integration to sync once per day. That's just one example. Now you can also choose whether items are added and or deleted either from EPM Live and or from the external system. So there's really a lot of options in how you set up the specific integration for each list app. So now we'll go ahead and I'll show you when we get to the demo portion how we actually do that integration steps on the front end there within EPM Live. Okay, so many of you might be thinking now, wow, this is a really great feature. And I'm a developer, and now how do I develop an adapter for my system with EPM Live? Well, as a developer, first you do need to have currently EPM Live on-premise or on a dedicated server hosted by EPM Live. Now please note the LiveConnect for development will be available for online or SaaS soon. Now you do need Visual Studio 2010 as well as the EPM Live integration DLL. As you're a developer, you would also then follow our API documentation. Now this will be published soon and we'll make it available to our various customers and partners, etc. So you can then begin to do these integrations yourself. Once you have your adapter built, you would then register your adapter. In other words, you'd be adding the DLL adapter to the server. And then once that's done, you would confirm that it's set up and configure the integration within EPM Live within the specific list settings for the integration settings. Now, some others of you might be thinking, uh-oh, well, I'm not a developer, and I don't have any developers on staff, but I do want to integrate my system with EPM Live. What can I do? Well, don't worry, that's not a problem. We have a whole EPM Live development team available, and we do offer professional services to build the integration adapter with or for you, for your specific customer or business needs. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my EPM Live and my Salesforce site, and I'm going to show you what it looks like to have an integration actually in action. So first I'm here within my EPM Live site. You can see I have EPM Live up here as my logo, and I'm currently logged in as the administrator. The first thing I'm going to show you here are the integration settings. Now, our example, let's say, is that we want to integrate our projects. So we're using Salesforce, and we have various customer accounts. And then once we close those accounts, we then have projects for those customers. And let's say that we then want to have all of our project data sync back with Salesforce, so that our sales team can see the status of those projects for their respective customers. So to do so, I'm going to first navigate to my Project Center List app by selecting Projects. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into my Project Center settings. So I'll go to the Settings drop down here and select List Settings. Now, as I was saying, these integration settings are configurable per list app. So currently we're in the Project Center, and I'm going to go to my integration settings here, specifically for the projects in EPM Live. And to save on some time today, I do have an integration here that's already pre-built, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you what one looks like that's already been set up. As you can see here, we have this integration with Salesforce already that's been configured. If I wanted to add a new one, I could select Add New Integration, and it would then go through the same steps. But here I'll just look at the various settings for this existing one. So I select my Salesforce dropdown, and here we have a number of different sections that are then configured. First, we have Edit Connection. This is where you put in your username and password. So for example, we're in EPM Live. We would enter the username and password and security token for Salesforce to make sure that the systems know that you have the proper credentials to access the data between the two. Next, we could look at Edit Properties. So I'll go ahead and open up that page. And this is really where you configure when you integrate and how items are added or removed from either system. So for example, we have here our live integration settings, meaning that when I make a change in EPM Live, that outgoing update is live. I have that checked, as well as then live incoming. So currently with our projects, we have it set up that you can edit a project in either system, and as soon as you hit save, the update will take place in the other system. If I didn't want to do live, I could set up a timed schedule here and have it timed on an integration, and I could set up when I want it incoming or outgoing and what that timing would be. Here we can select whether or not we want to allow for deletion from either the list we're on, which again would be Project Center, or from the integration source. In this scenario, it's Salesforce. And then also you can choose whether or not to allow adding to a list. And so there are a number of different settings here for selecting how you're mapping your objects, and you're mapping the user fields and whatnot as well. I'll go ahead and go back here, and we'll go to that next section. So now we know how and when we're going to integrate with Salesforce, and next we can select the columns. And so this is where you get specific on which specific fields from the other system would then map with the fields within EPM Live. So you can see here I have my % complete mapped, I have my budget field mapped, and so as part of this integration setup, you would need to make sure that you have the corresponding fields set up in your other system as well. And then here's where you select to map them. And so you would then go through and map all the necessary fields that you want mapped between the two systems, and you would save your settings. And then if needed, we also have a log here, so you can see the status of the integration that's taking place, any issues that might come up, etc. And if needed, you can always come back in and delete the integration as well. All right, so now we have our integration configured here with Salesforce. Now let's see what it looks like from more of an end user perspective. So I'm going to go back to my Project Center. I'll click Projects. And I already have another tab open here for my Salesforce site. So here I'm in EPM Live, and we see I'm in my Project Center. I'm going to go ahead and open up this other tab here, and I'll show you that I'm also logged into my Salesforce site. And here I'm looking within my Salesforce site. I have a tab here for projects. I could always navigate around elsewhere looking at other items such as within my sales. I can look at my accounts and opportunities, etc. But I'm specifically focusing on projects today, so I'm going to stay here on this page. Now we have done some additional options here, such as we've added in some specific buttons that link back to EPM Live. So you really have a lot of options for how you want to build out your integrations. And you can really get quite advanced with it, which is pretty cool. So for example, I have here this project, HQ Building Renovation. And I can see some various metadata details about this project. I can see the project type. I can see my project budget, etc. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go ahead and update my project type. So if I go back into my Project Center here, I see that same corresponding project, HQ Building Renovation. I'll go ahead and edit this item. And let's say I want to change this to a development project. I just have to change that field there, and then I'll click Save. So now my project item has been updated within EPM Live, and I don't need to now necessarily go in and make any changes in my Salesforce site because it's already taken place as soon as I hit Save. So I just need to come in here, I'll refresh this item, and I can already see very quickly that my project type has changed to development, just that quickly. Also, I could go in and be updating other fields from Salesforce, and it would update back into EPM Live. So maybe I'm in my Salesforce and I want to go ahead and look at my budget here. I could open up the Cost Planner button. And what this is actually doing is launching the Cost Planner from EPM Live, but it's doing so within my Salesforce environment. So let's say, for example, we need to add in some additional budgeting here, maybe another $10,000. And you can see that raises now my total budget for this project to $147,500. And I'll save that. Now I just need to refresh here, and I'll go ahead and see my updated budget. Just takes a moment here to refresh on that. And then I'd also be able to come back into my EPM Live site, and I can refresh on here as well. And we can see already back in EPM Live, the cost plan updated my budget as well here. So from an end user perspective, you don't even need to know or understand the behind the scenes. All you need to know is you're updating your projects, your various list items, and they quickly update within both systems. But now from a technical perspective, you have more of an idea how you can build that integration between the two. All right, so that takes us through the LiveConnect integration feature. Now, before we wrap up, I would like to introduce you to our EPM Live University. The EPM Live University is our online learning management system where you and your team can easily access all of EPM Live's end user and site collection administrator training materials and all of our training curriculum. Within EPM Live University, you can access all of our user guides, our self-paced courses, and even register for weekly instructor-led live Q&A sessions. EPM Live University is available to all customers who are part of our Premier Success program. So to find out more about EPM Live University, please visit our EPM Live training page on our website, just at epmlive.com. And you can check that out and get more information. Also, you can contact your account manager or your account executive, and they can help you out as well. One last thing here, we are very excited to let you know that EPM Live is hosting our first ever user conference, which is called Impact 2013. The conference will be held in San Diego, California, at the world-renowned Hotel Del Coronado, which is beautiful, by the way. Join us for this 2-day event packed with learning and networking opportunities and a very fun special evening cruise around San Diego Bay. we're also offering an additional day of pre-conference training that you won't want to miss. So you can sign up for that as well. So sign up now to receive the lowest pricing available, and make sure that when you sign up, you tell them that Christina Williams referred you. Hopefully I'll see you there in November at the user conference. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.